Hi everybody and welcome back to my basement once again. Today I'm gonna finally show you the new DeepspaceFPV Stellar 25. I'm super excited about this drone because I feel like DeepSpace is becoming one of my favorite brands. This Seeker 3 is incredible and I am very curious to see if they manage to do the same thing with a 2.5-inch cinewhoop. The unboxing, very nice. I like when they lock the drone in place. It's a nice presentation, very clean. And at the bottom you have the accessories. You get an extra set of Gemfan 63 for ducted drones and also extra screws if you lose the ones on the drone. Very nice. An extra branded battery strap. This is unconventional, it doesn't have the metal retainer. Extra screws and grommets for whatever camera you want to use. O3, O4 or even other kind of cameras. And lastly, the receiver connector. I have actually noticed that the drone is zip-tied to the cardboard. It's the first time I see this because usually they use some kind of metal twisting wire. So I need to cut the zip ties and boom. I have the without camera version. I'm gonna put O4 Pro into it and the dry weight without the camera is already 147 grams. So I fear this drone is gonna be hard to keep sub 250. We're gonna check it later. But of course this weight comes from very nice materials. We have a 3mm carbon plate. It's very incredibly stiff actually. And I like that they blacked it out. It looks super premium. The ducts are made of injection molded plastic and they are probably the stiffest one I ever felt. Like they don't flex at all. I don't know if this is good or bad because a little bit of flex is nice, but they are very tanky. Like the plastic is full a couple of millimeters. They are not hollowed out inside and maybe that's a little bit where the weight comes from. The bottom of the frame is one of the best I ever seen. It has a slot for the receiver, so only one screw and you can access it without tearing the whole drone apart, and the same goes for screws for the VTX. Also, they added slots for the USB-C and the micro SD port. This is not a given because I have seen many companies skip on it and rendering the drone useless, so very nice job. At the top of the frame you have these aluminum rails that stick into the carbon. They are for strapping the battery in, and you also have this nice anti-slip pad. I like that they put the battery longitudinally so you can adjust the center of gravity. The front canopy is made of aluminum again and is very smartly built. It has the holes for the O4, the O3 and any other 19mm, 20mm camera. These two black parts are made of 3D printed TPU. They don't look too bad, I mean the print quality is fine. I wish they were injection molded silicone or something like that for a more premium feel, but I understand it costs money and it's a growing company. I hope one day they reach the levels maybe of Gepard C that has started to implement those kind of things. Still, it's a super minor nitpick. What I'm not nitpicking about is they added a GPS built in, which is very nice. It's a little M10 GPS without magnetometer, but on a cinewhoop is a rare sight. On the other hand, they didn't provide an obvious way to mount a naked GoPro. If you use the O4 Pro, no problem. If you use other cameras and you want to use a naked GoPro, maybe consider you'll need to probably design and 3D print something yourself. Maybe they're gonna watch this video and provide you with a STL or maybe even add something, but for now there is no option for naked GoPros. At the back you have this antenna holder that comes with the XC30 connector, which sits kind of flush. The antenna holders are very strong, but they have also a groove so you can actually pass the antenna cable through without dismounting the O4 system. Thank you, because not everybody does that. At the back you have the USB-C port to access the flight controller and the antenna mount for XpressLRS or Crossfire. The motors are very nice looking DeepSpace Ether 1404 4600 kV. And the flight controller is an all-in-one from JHE MCU. It's an F4 with 40 amps ESCs, 8-bit. And boom, the DJI O4 has been installed. And actually it's not only these 4 screws, you need to remove also other 6 screws on the top to remove the propeller ducts, because yeah, the unit fits, but you need to also pass the wires for the camera and for the antennas at the back. The camera mount is really well made with these silicone tabs. The camera stays locked in place and it can swivel if you put a lot of pressure, upward of 35-40 degrees, and down to 5-7 degrees, which is fine for most use cases. And I feel like this is the right way to make a camera mount on a cinewhoop. You don't see the propeller guards and the camera is flush in the air, so it's also a little bit protected when you crash. It's a nice compromise between filming and protection. I like that they added fins for cooling and the ports really work. In order to access the micro SD card, maybe it's a little bit janky. You need to use your pinky if you have big hands like I do. I'm gonna fly with these two batteries. First a 720 milliamps for SHV and then 850 milliamps non-HV. They even say you can run a 1100, but I don't have one of those. The problem of this drone is that even with the lightest battery, and I would not recommend something smaller than this because it's quite a beefy drone, you need a little bit of power. With this battery, we are at 250 grams spot on. And keep in mind, I'm not even using an external receiver. That will add probably 5 grams with the antenna. And so you are at 255 if you use this kind of batteries. Okay. It's flying. It sounds very clean. And it's incredibly stable. Like the DVR looks to be stabilized. Wow! Wow, wow, wow. One of the most stable cinewhoops I have tested. I mean, look at this, I'm not using the radio. Wow! Man, I wish it was lighter, it would have been perfect already. Let's see. Okay, maybe a little bit of vibration. Every drone has that. Comes down very straight. It's totally locked. Wow. No, no. Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, we are safe. I mean, remember I'm flying a cinewhoop. I didn't see the net. Man, I'm gonna destroy this drone by the end of the day if I keep doing this. Okay, I need to carry home the most important test of them all. We have a chicken lined up already. Okay, let's put it in angle. Maybe it's gonna help. No, the gyro has gone haywire because of all of those crashes. Okay, I need to manual mode chicken chase under these plants with the latency. I have a lot more chicken, but every time I do the test, aha, there we are, there they go. They are not crazy scared of this drone. No, okay, they are keeping their distance. With the other drones, usually I can go closer. I need to dodge all of these water sprays because the drone is not waterproof yet. Wow. And look, the chicken will go through the hole. No, they did not. Wow, this drone is too big to pass through that hole. Look, it doesn't have prop wash or anything. Okay, DeepSpace confirms to have made... Oh my god, what was that animal? We have very bad biting animals around here. The GPS is... maybe I have started flying immediately, but is particularly slow. I don't know why. It's sitting on the front and I have tried that kind of GPS before. But this is the first time I turn on the drone, so maybe it needs to initialize. Yeah, absolutely one of the best cinewhoops I ever flown. It reminds me of the Beta FPV Pavo 25, which was another very heavy cinewhoop I have tested. This at least can barely beat up to 150. And also, I have been flying for a while and still I have not got the low battery warnings. It seems to be also quite efficient as a drone. again, very, very good job. Everything is perfect except of the weight. There is always something with these drones. So immediately I can tell you, if you don't care about being sub 250, one of the best cinewhoops I ever flown. And still, look, it's totally, totally controllable if you want to do proximity and fly. Yeah, also quite resistant. I believe I hit a propeller, I hear the noise. But you can see how controllable it is. If you want to do a little bit of indoor, this drone is gonna be fine. Now mind, very powerful. Okay, the battery is done. 4 minutes and 46 minutes of flying like that, pushing most of the time. It's very efficient as well, wow. And it was making a weird noise because one blade of the propeller got bent. But still I wouldn't have noticed if it wasn't for the noise. So very good job on the tuning again. It's also quite forgiving if you start changing the equilibrium on the drone. We had a couple of crashes, one was on concrete, and the frame is unscathed. And now let's fly with 850 milliamps. Perfect, after like 30 seconds we have GPS lock. Wow. I like how clean it sounds despite being made of plastic. Now it makes a little bit of noise for sure. It's not a silent drone at all. Let's see how fast it goes. No way, it goes 120 if you, oh my god, I forgot I am not faced the right direction. Wait, how are my antennas? They seems fine. So let's try the rescue. It's not set up correctly because it's going z, 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 z. Can you hear it? Z, z, z. Z, z, z. It does this. So, I mean, Deep Space, next time you should give me the right values out of the box for the GPS rescue. I'm gonna bring it closer and let you hear the noise it makes because it's silly. I hope it engages here. I mean, what is this, this thing? So the hover throttle is not set up correctly, I feel like, but still. So we have two nitpicks. The weight, which is a bigger kind of complaint, and the GPS rescue is not set up completely correctly. I mean, it will fly your drone back home, but not smoothly. Is it a problem? Probably not. But man, this thing flies like a dream, really. It's not the fastest accelerating thing in the world, but you can see how good. It's locked on, it's on rails. It seems to be flying a very heavy toothpick. It doesn't have any kind of prop wash. And with the bigger battery, it seems like we don't get much vibration. I don't think it has jello. Wow. Again, if you don't care about being sub 250, I do suggest this drone. I recommend it because I believe it's one of the best O4 options out there. It flies much better than the Cinelog 30 V3, absolutely much better than that one, but it's somehow heavier despite being smaller. So I don't know, it depends what you need. The Huma 20 with the O4 flies good, but maybe this one slightly better. It will hold the wind a little bit better than that one. It's a 2.2 inch, the Huma 20. So if you are looking for a sub 250 grams drone to go unnoticed, then something versatile but still powerful, I recommend for most people the PAVO 20 Pro, which is not a 2.5 but is a little bit bigger than a 2 inches, a 2.2. It's silent enough, powerful enough, steady enough, so most people will like it. You add the O4 Pro to it, and it can work in most scenarios, indoors, outdoors, around people. It's a much lighter drone. You will not have issues with being sub 250. This one is if you need a little bit more power outdoors. Maybe you need to chase. Oh, I forgot the battery. Okay, landed perfectly. I don't know how many. It's still going. Come on. 4 minutes and 18 seconds before totaling the battery. I was talking and I forgot to look at it. But this time I was flying a little bit more aggressive. I also pushed harder, tested the speed. I was not chasing chicken. They claim it's gonna do around 7 minutes of flight time if you fly steadily, slowly, just like a cinewhoop. I totally believe it because it seems also to be quite efficient. And it's time for my final opinion on the DeepSpace Stellar 25. I have to say this company is making hit after hit, and they're gonna soon become one of the biggest FPV companies out there if they keep releasing hits like this. This drone has a lot of good design choices. I wanna congratulate the design team for allowing us to use the SD card, for putting a small GPS, for a lot of good quality of life decisions. Flight-wise, the P tuning is one of the best I ever seen in a cinewhoop. It doesn't feel to be flying a cinewhoop, despite it feeling a little bit heavier, so it feels like a very heavy freestyle drone. But it doesn't have prop wash, it's incredibly stable, it's on rails, and you can do whatever you want with this drone. If you wanna fly slow, it's gonna be incredibly stable. So, fully promoted on that side. I only have a couple of nitpicks that make this drone not 100% recommendable to everybody. First of all, there is no obvious way to mount a naked GoPro. Many people don't care, but if you care, maybe this is not the drone for you, or at least you need to design a better mount. And for sure, you're not gonna be sub 250 with that. Talking about sub 250, the weight of the drone is a little bit too much. They should have hollowed out a little bit of carbon, remove a couple of screws, just to be 5 grams less. It would have been passable. Probably at 160 grams instead of 183, I would have said this drone was the ultimate cinewhoop. With this weight, again, flies amazing. If you don't care about being sub 250, it's a very good drone. But if you care, be warned, it's gonna be very hard to stay under that weight. And as always, that's all for today. Remember to like, subscribe and comment on this video. Let me know what you think about this drone and what do you think about this company which is releasing crazy drone after drone. If you want to buy something, check out the links in the description because clicking on them, you help my channel a lot and also you get discounts on this brand. Thank you so much, stay safe and happy flying. Bye!